Hello, Gorfines. I'm still trying to work on a name to call you guys, so let me know if you guys have any suggestions. In this video, I am going to be going over an OC design of mine that I have been working on. So I read a lot of manga, a lot of manga and stuff like that. I really have gotten attached to more historical manga, like How to Get My Husband on My Side and Death is the Only End for the Villainess. Those are two of my favorite. I really love Ruby as a protagonist and Penelope. They are my favorites. I also really like For My Abandoned Dearest. I believe that's how you pronounce the name of that one. I really like Historia. Those are like some really big manhwas that I have read. I hope I'm pronouncing that right again. I don't really talk about this to anybody, so I've never really said it out loud or had to be corrected on it, so please do correct me if I'm saying that wrong. But one thing I've really noticed in these stories is a lot of the characters in them are white, and you don't get a lot of good black rep in these stories that I have seen personally. I know that there are different comics on webtoons that have black MCs, but it's just something that's bugged me a little bit, is because I would love, as a white person, I would love to see a black female MC. So it kind of got me thinking, and I started, why not make one myself, Why not throw my hand into it? So I did a few paper sketches before I really jumped into this, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to start with some headshots. I had a rough idea for this story, and I will read it off because I have written it down a little bit here. The title for this one would be The Villainess Does Not Want the King. The Villainess Doesn't Want the King. And my plot point that I have kind of loosely come up with is female lead was a single mother from the United States living with her 17-year-old son. Female lead son. When female lead got into a car accident with female lead son, they both reincarnated into his favorite novel, Princess of Lies, and female lead ends up as the evil queen who shamelessly hunts after the king, who uses her son as a weapon against the king. But now female lead is in her body, and her son is the young prince. She decides to become a shut-in with her son to avoid conflict with the king's true love, but soon finds out the story never told the truth about the villainess's story. It's basically, it's pretty much a loose description for this plot because I haven't really refined it much, and it's very subject to change in the future. I originally went through a few headshots, and I did love a few of them. I really loved the red hair. I think it complemented the skin tone really well and worked really well, but I was just having so many problems coming up with a proper design for this character because I was so set on one specific look I had in mind for her, but it really wasn't working if I wanted her to be a black MC, and that wasn't something I was willing to give up. I wasn't going to make her white just because, it wasn't working with what I had an idea of what she would look like. So I did a few sketches trying to make this design I had in my head work with the short hair, keeping some of the red bits. I didn't really like the first color palette I chose for this design in particular, so I went ahead and switched it up. I did want to keep the cat-like eyes in some way or shape and form, and I think on the final design I've come up with, you can really see that coming through in her eyes a little tiny bit. It's not as noticeable, but it's still there. Another problem I've been having with this design in particular is trying to design the female lead before the reincarnation bit and then after the reincarnation bit, so I think I am deciding that she looks the same before and after, kind of like how Penelope does in her story, where she looks very similar to the Penelope in the game. And that could be for like a plot reason or not, depending. For this one, I was trying a different style of rendering where I laid down the colors individually and then rendered them before doing full flats. I mean, I like this piece, but it just wasn't what I was wanting for the character, and I don't think the blonde hair looks the best with her skin tone, and I think it's too much of a yellowy blonde for the skin tone I had for this one, and the colors were just all over the place. So I moved on. This is one of my favorite designs I've done. For this one, I kind of stepped back for a little bit on this design, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep trying. No matter how frustrating it is, I'm going to keep trying. And that's what I have done in a lot of sense. I remember starting this one and I'm like, this isn't working out. I wanted to do something really pretty with her hair. I wanted to keep that curly texture because I didn't want to abandon that. But I was still trying to keep that short curly bob idea I had at the beginning because I feel like black women rock that look so often, but I don't draw curls enough in my art to be able to keep a tight curl, and that's also something I was having a lot of issue with. I've been trying to get better at this, but I think in the final design I made the looser curls work really well. I loosely sketched this out and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna get rid of it, and I start using this reference of these two curvy models, and gorgeous women, by the way. And I just wanted to have like a base. So this one was more of a 2 design bit piece. Hiccups in the middle of recording is the worst. But I decided to have the front facing more carefree one, what she would look like before reincarnation, and the one full body in the back being what she would look like after reincarnation into the queen's body. So I wanted to give this female lead, so I wanted to keep that short bob. I just wanted to keep it. Sue me. So I tried it again, keeping her hair short and more curly to her face, thinking that would work better, and I think it really did. I love the colors of this piece and I love the character design, but it's just not something I would use. This character piece in particular I chose to name Rosa, but that will probably not be female's lead's name. I'm still trying to think of a name that's more historically accurate and something that I could really latch onto. And then in the background, I wanted her dress to be more Bridgerton style, with the waistline being higher up in the dress than downwards. I wanted to keep this little crown-like cap on her head to kind of simulate like a little crown, just more dull in color, I guess, and not as bold and shiny. I wanted to give her green hair just to try out the fun colors that I could give this character since it's a fantasy setting. And I really like the green and the colors I chose. I chose a more green-blue color palette with a little bit of yellow in her eye. I have really kept to this heterochromia style for these designs. I'm just now noticing. But I finished this one up and then I move on to another headshot that I did because something about these designs weren't giving me that attachment that I felt with Nanashi when I was designing her. These designs just didn't stick with me like the one with Nanashi did. So I decided to do something similar and give her dreadlocks with the golden caps that I gave Nanashi, and I really liked that idea, so I moved on to a full sketch of that just to see what it would look like and how it would act. Now, this is one of my mom's favorite pieces, but this design ended up being probably my least favorite. I mean, I like it for a character design in general, and I think somebody could make it work, but I wasn't liking the colors. It was the colors that kept getting at me. I didn't like how I did her dreadlocks. I feel like they could have been more exaggerated in a lot of sense, kind of more along the lines of the Jabber is the main inspiration I had for this design, because I loved the way that they did his dreads in it, and I thought it looked so overly exaggerated, if that's how you say it. I can't talk. I really liked how they had them bigger, and I don't know, it just looked better. And I feel like the smaller dreads, more leaning towards braids, just didn't look how I wanted them to look for this character if I were to give her that hairstyle. A lot of the issues I have with drawing black people is there's so many options for hair. Usually when I just draw straight hair, I can just be like, oh, it just goes on the head and that's fine. With black people, you have to really be intentional about how you do their hair. That's like one of the biggest issues I have, because I like to be lazy, and this forces me not to. I really like the pearls and the dress design on this piece. It's one of my favorite, but I feel like even for a queen, it's a little over the top, and I don't like the colors that I chose for this outfit, though I do like the piece as a whole. I do not like this for her character, and I don't think it fits. As in the story I have kind of drawn up, I want her to be more soft and not as bold as this character would present to be. I feel like this character would be very bold, and I want my character to lean more on the soft side of things. So I wanted to kind of display that. I know that Nanashi as a character, she's very bold, she's very more masculine leaning, and I love that about her character. I just wanted to have a different character from her, because I am getting a little tired of drawing Nanashi, not gonna lie, but I do still love Nanashi, and I love her character. But with this character, I just wanted to do something different, just so I can have a character I can go to when I am bored of drawing Nanashi, and just wanted to draw something different. Nanashi is a very complex character, and I want to fall in love with this character as much as I did with Nanashi. I really do. So, another thing I went and did was scroll back on my TikTok page, as you can see it as the markers in the corner, to my older designs of more darker skinned characters. I didn't find a lot, shame on me. But I wanted just to look back and think, well, with Nanashi, I took an old character design I had and really fell in love with her updated design after I updated it. So I thought maybe I could do something similar with this character. So I go back, I look, and I find this video right here, which is, I love the character design I did on this character, but it just wasn't what I was wanting for her character, though I do love the character palette, and I may reuse it in the future. I just love seeing my old work, and seeing how much of I've improved since then is crazy. But I found this video, I'm like, I could see me taking some elements from it, but not all. And then I find this second video right here, and this is Dream. She's an old one-off OC that I had, but that I was planning to do more on, but I never really elaborated on her, like, at all. So I was thinking maybe I could take Dream. Maybe I could make Dream into this new MC and work with her. And I do love her color palette. She does do what I want this character to do, which is give more of a softer, comforting feel to the reader. But it's just, I feel like Dream could be used for a different character design. She does also have that heterochromia that I want in this character, but I feel like I'd have to rework her so much just to fit into my story. Like I said, she was just a one-off character that I never drew again after this. So, yeah, she was definitely a good fit for what I wanted, but I just didn't know if I could make her fit, in a sense. So, I start doing some thumbnailing, and I go into a print crew, the one in the corner. I'll put it up on screen now. And I worked out a really pretty design in the colors that I wanted for this character. And I have latched onto that so hard. I feel like when I needed to kill a couple darlings here. Like the red hair, it just wasn't going to work for what I wanted. It was too bold in statement. And it just didn't feel right. So this color palette, and I didn't even think to do something with blue and white, and the colors I chose for her eyes, everything with this design works out so well. And don't get attached to that eye and the eyelashes because you can't see them in the final piece. I had to erase a lot of those eyelashes, but I was so proud of them. Same with the eyebrows. But you can see me do that kind of cat eye look with the eyes, and I think that's something I will carry on with her design. I know with this piece I was struggling a lot when I was starting it because I wasn't sure how it was going to end, and I think the ending product for this piece is so satisfying and so gorgeous. I love her design, and I love how well it just fits together. I think there's still a few things I need to work on it, specifically with her clothing, because I don't draw dresses very often, let alone big, elaborate, historical looking dresses. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to work on with this character. But I feel like a lot of character designs are a lot of trial and error and a lot of, well, time to work on this and time to do it until I get something cohesive and something that I really like. And I know that with her dress and a lot of mangas, they don't stick to one specific dress, although they are often known with one specific dress as that's their dress. So for this, I'm definitely not going to turn this into an actual comic. This character will be more of a Wattpad novel of my own making, and it'll just be there. I'll probably do something similar to what I'm doing with Nanoshi's story. As I'm rewriting Nanoshi's story, I am posting videos where I read in parts of Nanoshi's story to you guys with a drawing in the background. I had like a huge brain fart there, so I apologize. I'm trying to look at other things and trying to think of a thumbnail for this video and stuff like that as I'm recording this. I'm trying to multitask and it's not working well. But that's fine. Okay. So there's not really anything that I could think of to say more on this design, other than I have quickly fallen in love with her design, specifically her hair. Her hair has really pulled me in. I also took in the middle of her forehead, given her that gem back, as I know in a lot of indigenous cultures and religions, having something on the middle of your forehead can be very significant. So I wanted her to have like jewelry in some way, and I feel like that could be a part of her jewelry. Also, I have made her a half dark elf, so I think that's very, very fitting for her. I love this character. I love how she turned out, and I loved the colors. Now, drawing her hair gave me a little bit of issues, but I think I worked it out pretty well for what I wanted to do. I had to first find her hairline, and that's not something I often have to do with characters, but for her I felt like it was important. I started with these smaller curly bits, and I started with just like a general front piece for her hair and to just map out where I wanted it to go. And then I ended up switching down to another layer below that, or above that. I can't remember where I put it, but it was either below or above. It doesn't really matter on where I put my layer, just to do like the second longer pieces in the front of her bangs, to have like the really curly spirals, as I just didn't want to mess up her front pieces if I ended up messing up on the curlier spirals. I really like how they turned out. I really think they frame her face so fucking well. This character has taken my heart, and I genuinely say this. I am a person with curly hair. I have really bad curly hair. But I hardly draw it in my work because I feel like it's so tedious, and you have to be so precise with some of the curls sometimes that it kind of scares me. I feel like with curly hair, you have to be really intentional and know where you're putting it. And I kept wanting to do like these really tight curls, and I just couldn't get them to look right. So it was kind of pissing me off because I felt like I was doing a disservice to anybody that knows how to draw curls. I had to get over that and just say, you know what, I'm still learning. There's time that I can improve, and that with this character, if I get obsessed with her, then there's a huge chance I'll draw her so much that I get very used to drawing curls and I can tighten them up and rework her design later on to have more of a tighter hairstyle. I also feel like for her story, I could work it in to where, since she is supposed to be like the villainess or the evil queen, that her curls are very damaged from a lot of mistreatment from her maids. But that's just an idea I have roughly, because I do want to, in going into this, I need to do a lot of research on this story because I want to have her written in a way where she deals with some things in her life that I feel like a lot of people of color could relate to. I want her to be a character that is good representation for the black community. I don't want her to be one of those characters that it just looks black and then just doesn't go through anything that happens in day-to-day life or used to happen in a historical sense. I want her to be actual good, genuine rep for the people of color's community. And I know as a white person, there's a lot of things I am ignorant about, so that's why I say that before I even start writing this story, I need to really do a deep dive into history and historical things, and a lot of things to do with the past and the oppression that people have gone under in the past. There's a lot of things I want to look into just so I know what to avoid and what I can put in, and how to deal with these topics very sensitively and correctly so I'm not accidentally being offensive. With her dress, I'm just gonna move on. With her dress, it was a nightmare to draw. A nightmare. Because I did not know how I wanted it to poof up. I think I got it in a way that looks very gorgeous and pristine. The colors are a little bit all over the place. Don't get me wrong. I'm still having a problem on that. But I feel like they're more cohesive with the whole drawing rather than what they used to. I also gave her a lot of moles. I really wanted to give her a lot of moles because they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I have 2 moles on my shoulder, so I decided that in her character design, I'd give her 2 moles on her shoulder and 2 moles on her ear. A funny thing about me, a funny fact, I used to have a mole on my thumb, on the side of my thumb. It's gone now. I don't know where it went. It's gone now, but it was there. I also gave her vitiligo on her face a little bit. I also took on one of her ears and gave her a little half heart. I feel like it continues on the other side as a full heart. Just a little headcanon for my character here. I really love vitiligo. I think it's so fucking pretty. It's so pretty. It's gorgeous. Love it. So, when I saw it in character creation for the pit crew I picked out and they had vitiligo options, I was absolutely in love. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. We'll see. I have drawn a character with vitiligo before, and oh, gorgeous. I don't know why I don't add it to characters or draw characters with it when I do draw black people. I don't know why I don't add it. I feel like I don't want to overdo it though. So, I just really, really love her design. It's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And her eyes are gorgeous. Her eyes are gorgeous. I love the green and the muted purple that I chose for the colors. I love the character Pit Crew creator. Oh yeah, you can see me rename my color palettes. I forgot I was recording halfway through. So I completely forgot I was screen recording, so I just took the time to rename all my color palettes. So I knew what was going on with them. And I made her own color palette, so I can keep those colors for her, so I know what to go with. Originally, I was going to make her under eye color, like the colors of the inside of her eyes, darker, but I realized that they would be technically lighter on darker skin characters, because it's the inside of your eye, and technically it should be the same color. I could be wrong on this, though. I go all over the place when I'm coloring, and this one I completely forgot to do the base under my coloring, so there was a lot of holes, and this was just like supposed to be like a really a really quick piece that I was working on, and I think that it turned into so much more. The hair, I was in love with the colors, but I wasn't in love with the tightness, so I figured later on you'll see me do this, but I figured after like I got down the rendering, usually I do like the little loose pieces of hair just wherever, just out of personal habit. I figured instead of doing them straight like I would do on Nanashi, I would make them tighter curls the best I could and make them just curl up just a little more, because I know with my hair, even though it's like really frizzy, I do have some of these really tight curls on my head. I personally have the short curly bob. I don't know how to take care of my curls though, so I don't know, which it's another reason I feel bad, because I have curly hair. I should know how to take care of it. I do not. There was a long period of time where I just wanted straight hair, so I'd always straighten it, so my curls are pretty fucking ruined, and I've just resorted to having my hair in a bob, because that's the only way I can take care of it without it getting very messy and very tangly and very matted. It has gotten that bad in the past, in like the far past. It hasn't been like that in a while, but yeah, it wasn't the best. So whenever I see like somebody with like really pretty and defined curls, I'm like, how? Are you a magician? Are you genuinely a magician? I genuinely adore people that can actually handle that, because I know that curls are probably one of the hardest things to take care of hair wise. I think my mother is crazy for wanting curly hair, because how you manage that? It genuinely leaves me speechless. That's like a side rant. I got a random missed call from an unknown number. Okay. Alright. Okay then. I am getting so out of topic, and I'm just rambling at this point, so you guys have probably clicked off by now. If you didn't, put curls in the comment section. See how many people actually make it to this part of the video. I bet you $1 that I will not get a single comment on this video saying peaches, so I could say whatever the fuck I want right now. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. I'm just sitting in my room talking to myself. Well, CapCut like runs over this. So, let's go over my channel. I'm just gonna start naming my channel videos because I doubt anybody's watching. Demon Slayer, The Cursed Daughter, The Man That Calls Himself My Father, Untitled, Unedited Draw and Yap, A Yandere Diary, Stardew Valley, A Yandere Diary, Stardew Valley, Making Epic the Musical fan art, drawing and yapping while in art block, How to Get Over You, my Demon Slayer OC, Sashiko Nanashi, ranting a little bit about my first OC, Happy Halloween, Gortober, last part. Why is Gortober so... It cuts it off. Gortober's story, it cuts it off. Who Let Me Out, Gortober Day, blank blank. It's horror season. Let's chill and talk about Gortober art as I complete Gortober's Day 1 to 4. Redesigning Pokemon as humans. Let's struggle together. Color theory. Is art worth it? Will you ever get It cuts it off. What drawing apps are better? It cuts it off. Let's struggle together, men. That video did pretty well in my terms. I feel like men is fucking hilarious. Let's struggle together, men. Total tone shift, men. I gave up on that. I think that was around the time I was starting to lose my motivation. Let's struggle together, hands. Let's struggle together. Making OCs. That was a horrible video. I need to revisit that. Let's struggle together. Don't put yourself down. You can do it. I think that's what I said. I wouldn't know. It cuts it off. Let's struggle together. Faces. One of my favorite videos. Rendering. Well, no. And it cuts it off. It says Justine, it cuts it off. I don't understand. It cuts it off. Making an MLP infection AU, question mark. It doesn't cut that one off. Cindy's Tale, don't watch these videos, they're so old, they're 2 years old, please don't watch these videos. The Lady Next Door, a short creep, and then it cuts it off. I've gone through all the videos on my page. Now it's time for the post. Yo, this is the fun part, it's the post time. It's the post time. Post time. New post is out, y'all. 2 in a row. Hope y'all like them. Okay. Still working. 4 hours of work. Still working. Trust. New video is finally out. Posted after a lot of difficulty. Sneak peek of the next video's thumbnail. I've been working, I promise. Just takes forever. I'm super worried that the video will be too long and my iPad won't be able to handle it. That's real. That's so real. That's very real. What should the next video be? I never did that video. I am sorry, y'all. I will probably never visit animation in a while. Then all my Gortober posts. My sneak peeks I was doing for Gortober. I was so excited for that series, but it did not do well, which is fine. I still loved it, and I still loved drawing for them. So that's I do this for myself. Can't say I do this for anybody else, but I do this for myself, and that's what matters. I haven't drawn Kai in so long. I love Kai. He is my first ever male OC. I love him. I haven't drawn him in a while. New post is out. Another post. That's all my posts. I don't have a lot. Let's turn this video around. Let's go through my watch history. Expose myself. Oh, let's expose myself. I don't want to expose myself because I do in fact watch cringy gacha reaction videos. They're funny as fuck, don't judge me. Anyway, goodbye. That's the end of this video. It doesn't get a proper ending, but I hope you enjoy the final piece. I will probably draw this character a lot more in the coming days. Yes, goodbye.